Watches. I never used to wear them. In fact, for most of my life, I didn't see the point. Why strap something to my wrist when I've got the time right here in my pocket?
Yeah, that was a problem. I didn't just check the time, I checked my emails, messages, social media, and suddenly 20 minutes had vanished.
So anyway, a few years ago I got my first watch. It wasn't anything special, just a cheap smartwatch.
I wanted to see how many steps I did in a day, monitor my heart rate, and obviously check the time. Unfortunately, I soon found out that smartwatches aren't really that smart and the battery life is rubbish. Mine barely lasted 2 days. It wasn't long before it broke.
However, it did teach me one thing. I really liked having the time on my wrist, and ironically my favourite part of my smartwatch was the non-smart watch feature.
So I went and replaced it with the obvious choice, the Casio F-91w. Simple, cheap, iconic. First introduced in 1988 and it hasn't changed since then. Before I talk about why this little digital masterpiece is so great, let's talk about Casio for a second. Casio isn't just a watch company, they make calculators, keyboards, cash registers. If it has buttons and beeps, Casio probably made it. And like most Japanese electronics, when they made something, they made it well. Casio is one of the strangest yet most revolutionary companies in the world of electronics. It was founded in 1946 by Tadao Casio in Tokyo. Believe it or not, its first hit product wasn't a calculator or a watch. It was a weird ring-mounted cigarette holder called the Yubiwa pipe, designed to let people smoke hands-free and down to the last nub. This bizarre but practical invention was a success, giving the Casio brothers the funds to pursue something bigger. In 1957, they unveiled the 14A, the world's first compact all-electric calculator, replacing noisy gear-driven machines with slick relay-based technology. From the very start, Casio was obsessed with making everyday tasks easier, whether through a weird smoking gadget or by revolutionising office calculations. But Casio didn't stop at calculators. The company expanded into musical instruments, creating the first affordable electronic keyboards. They made groundbreaking digital watches, dabbled in cameras, electronic dictionaries, portable televisions, and even a wristwatch with a built-in remote control for TVs. Casio is a company that never stuck to one lane. Instead, they consistently pushed the boundaries of what consumer electronics could do, proving that sometimes the most revolutionary ideas come from the strangest places.
So why do I love this watch? Let me tell you. First off, build quality. This thing is tough. Yes, it's plastic, but it's strong plastic. These things can take a hell of a lot of abuse and still keep going. I mean, people have been wearing them for decades with absolutely no problem. Price. You can get one of these for less than a meal out, which is ridiculous value. And for that, you get a watch that just works. Rugged? Definitely. This watch isn't technically waterproof, but it can be made to be.
I found a whole thread online about hydromodding, basically filling the inside of your watch with a non-compressible fluid like oil, which means it can survive massive pressures of deep-sea diving. I found a post from somebody who attached theirs to a sub and took it down to 4,950 metres. Needless to say, I've done it to mine and it survived the swimming pool, so I'd say that was a success.
It's easy to read with big numbers and the date. It's got a stopwatch, it's got an alarm, and it's got an almost useless, pathetic little light, but it's there if you need it. Honestly, there's just no unnecessary nonsense with this watch. The battery life on this watch is ridiculous. It lasts over 7 years, and I've heard stories of people leaving them in a drawer for over 10 years and coming back and them still working. It's just incredibly reliable. Also, I love the way it looks. It's understated, it's practical, and it gets the job done. Plus, it comes in so many different colours and designs. I mean, I've got an orange one, a pink one, a black one, but you can get them in every colour of the rainbow, and you can easily modify it by changing the straps and doing all kinds of weird mods to it and all sorts. It's just such an interesting little watch. And I'm not the only one. Watch collectors love this thing.
This watch says you've tasted, you're classic. The Casio F-91w, God tier! It's for everyone.
Even presidents and let's say some less reputable individuals have worn it.
Yes, both of these men wore the same watch. Make of that what you will.
And here's my favourite thing about this watch. It helps me stay more present. No checking my phone, getting distracted with Instagram or emails. Just a quick glance of the watch and it's done. I know the time and I can get on with my life.
As someone with ADHD, having a physical watch on my wrist has been an absolute game changer. Checking the time on my phone was always a trap. I'd unlock it for a quick glance, only to get sucked into notifications, social media, or whatever random thing caught my attention. But with a watch, there's no distraction, just a simple glance and I'm back to whatever I was doing. It also helps combat time blindness, something many people with ADHD struggle with. I can keep track of time more easily and stay on schedule and avoid that feeling of hours slipping away unnoticed. More importantly, it keeps me present. Instead of disappearing into a digital rabbit hole, I stay focused on what actually matters in the moment.
Reducing time on my phone is a constant battle. Yeah, it's useful, but it's the most effective distraction device ever invented.
To help myself, I've started offloading key functions, time, music, even my camera, to external non-internet connected devices. The Casio watch was the first step in that process, and since then it's been a massive improvement on my productivity, focus and ability to stay present. I think this is the everyman's watch. No pretension, no frills, just time. Over 100 million sold, and for a good reason.
So if you don't have one of these watches, get one. You won't regret it. They're great value and so good. And if you already have one, well, you don't need me telling you.
Oh, and one last thing. Hold down the button here and Casio leaves you a little Easter egg.